Good evening, folks. We're at December 11th, 2013, and for the first time in the history of me attending Findlay Prep games at the Henderson International School, and also the first time in Findlay Prep school history tonight, we witnessed a first. Unfortunately, I come to report that Findlay Prep lost a home game tonight. December 11, 2013, folks, mark it down. It took 6 to 7 years for Findlay Prep to finally lose a home game at the Henderson International School, and it happened tonight right in front of my very eyes. 73-71, Future Prep takes out Findlay Prep in a rematch of a game earlier this year that came down to the wire that saw Findlay Prep pull it out at the Tarkanian Basketball Academy. However, tonight in the rematch, it was a different story. Future Prep clearly wanted the game more. I've never said that before in the history of watching Findlay Prep, but tonight I felt like the other team actually wanted the game more, and that was the final result. It was a tight game throughout. I don't think either team led by more, in double digits. I would say earlier in the game, that was another first. The first time I ever seen Findlay Prep trail by double digits early in the first half. It was 33-22, Future Prep at one point. But after that, it was tight the rest of the way. Findlay's biggest lead was 6-point margin early in the second half, and that's where I'm going to pick up the game, where I thought it was the most pivotal occurrence in the game. Okay, 6-point Findlay lead with about 15 minutes left in the game early in the second half. You know, after a first half in which it was tight all the way around, it was a tie ball game going into the half. Findlay jumped out the gates a little bit early in the second half, pushed it up to 50-44, 6-point lead. It looked like maybe, just maybe Findlay was going to pull away there. But then there was a turning point in the game that I thought was a key point in the game. And that was when Future Prep's Andre Edwards hit a three-pointer off the backboard that he obviously didn't call, but it went in. And it was kind of like that eerie, bad omen feel when that shot went in with a kiss off the backboard to cut it to three. Findlay led 50-47 after that kiss after hours bank shot from deep by Andre Edwards to cut it to three. And it was kind of like, uh-oh, they're not going away. They're here to stay. It might be their night. And it turned out it was. Now after that, where it cut it to three, I'd say, I don't know, Findlay Prep looked a little shell-shocked at that point, and it was like a mini run by Future Prep, and they went on like a 15-3 run to take, a pretty decisive lead at that point. It was a 8 to 10 point lead with about 12 minutes to go for Future Prep, and Findlay Prep was obviously a little, shell-shocked at that point, and, they needed a timeout to gather themselves, and from that point on, it was just anybody's ball game. First time ever Findlay Prep was challenged at home, and they fought back, okay? Let me just tell you the way the final 3 minutes of this game was probably one of the most exciting games I've seen in a while. It was back and forth, 4-point game at one point, after a guy for Future Prep pretty much nailed a three from the H on the center of midcourt at the Henderson International School to put Future Prep up 4 with about 3 minutes to go. But then Rashad Vaughn, who was, kind of quiet tonight, I'm not sure why, he missed the last 2 games with, dealing with a knee injury. He comes down and bangs a 3, cuts it right back to 1 after, the guy for Future Prep basically drills a 3 from half court. And, it's down to 1 with 3 minutes to go. Okay, yeah, Findlay Prep's going to pull this out. They never lose at home, right? But credit to Future Prep. They never went away. And once again, as in the earlier matchup this year when these two teams faced each other, Brian Angola, the former Findlay Prep, player who just does everything right. I can't stress enough how much this kid does. He comes down and hits a jumper. puts Future Prep back up again. It's just trading baskets. Who wants the game more? And that's what it came down to. We get down to about a minute 30 to go. Future Prep is up 1, and I believe a key situation was Kelly Oubre goes to the bench. I guess head coach Jerome Williams was trying to get him a quick breather with a minute 30 down 1, and they kind of missed him in that spot, and especially in the defensive end, and Future Prep got an easy bucket to go up 3 with about a minute 15 to go, so they had to quickly insert Kelly Oubre back in there. They missed his presence, and out of a timeout, down 3, Findlay draws up a play, and it's drawn up to perfection. They run like a double screen, and a shooter comes off wide open for 3. However, the three-point shooter in that spot, down 3 with a minute to go, turned out to be Craig Victor, and I'm not sure if head coach Jerome Williams drew up that play for him or not, or did he just happen to pop free. But Craig Victor is more of a down low, power forward type of player, and tonight was actually the first night in all the games that I've witnessed where I've actually seen him shoot a three-pointer tonight, and he comes off the double screen wide open for 3 and takes the 3 and misses. And Future Prep gets the rebound, and at that point, it really looked bleak, But I was kind of shocked to see that, Craig Victor took that 3 in that situation. I would have thought maybe it'd be, Rashad Vaughn, Oubre, Derek Thornton. But getting after that play, Future Prep has the ball up 3 with about a minute to go. And, Findlay needs a stop, and they get one. They knuckled up, they got the stop when they needed it. And with about 30 seconds to go, he did it again. He didn't have a tremendous game all night, but Derek Thornton comes through in the clutch again, like he did in the first game against Future Prep, where he hit the bucket to seal the win. And tonight, they kind of a loose ball scramble situation. Rashad Vaughn comes up with it, and Future Prep kind of doubles him, and they leave Derek Thornton open in the corner, and he winds up with the ball after Rashad Vaughn gets it to him, and he drills the 3, and we're tied 71-71. The Henderson International Gymnasium went crazy. I myself went crazy. Derek Thornton once again lives up to the big time. In the clutch, he comes through. And that's something special in a player that you just can't coach or teach. He seems like he lives for the big moment, and that's good for that young man. And so we get to the final stages. Findlay needs a stop. It's tied. There's there's about 20 seconds on the clock, and there's nothing Findlay can do. They either got to get a stop, or it's going to overtime, or they're going to lose. So they can't win the game in regulation. So I don't know if that was kind of, deflating in a way. Sometimes that can, bring a team down a little bit, knowing that they can't win the game in regulation. The best they can do is get an overtime. And so they had to get the stop just to get to overtime. And, Future Prep is ISO dribble at the top of the key, melting the clock, doing the right thing, trying to get the final shot off. And Andre Roberts, I believe, the same guy who hit the backboard 3, Andre Edwards, excuse me. I had his name right earlier. Now here I am stumbling on his name. Andre Edwards, he gets the ball at the end of the game with about 6 seconds to go, and he penetrates, and he takes off, and he looks like he has a clear layup. And out of nowhere comes Craig Victor, and he just swats it, pins it on the glass, and it looks like that's the game-defining block shot, defensive stand to go to overtime. But however, there's still about 2 seconds left, loose ball, and no, the Heartbreak Kid, the former Findlay Prep player, Brian Angola, Mr. Do All the Little Things. Does it surprise you that he's standing under the basket with the ball in his hands for the winning putback? Future Prep goes up 73-71 with 1.6 seconds remaining in the game, and that was it. You pretty much knew that was it. Findlay had a timeout, had to draw up a miracle play. Came out of the timeout, the best look. With 1.6 seconds, you just hope for whatever you can get. The ball found in Ray Ono Embo's hands for a half-court heave, and the miracle just wasn't answered. And all good things come to an end, and the Findlay Prep home winning streak is officially over. Congratulations to Future Prep. and especially former Findlay player Brian Angola. You know, he comes back and beats his old team 73-71 Future Prep. It was a tremendous high school basketball game. You couldn't ask for anything more. And I got to give credit to Future Prep. They played hard. You know, it was a rematch game, and they just wanted the game. I mean, they were determined to win that game, and that's in the end that's what they did. In closing, I will say Findlay Prep was without one of their key guys. You know, 6'9" Jonah Bolden. You know, just recently signed with UCLA. I don't know the extent of his injury. He's been nursing an injury the last couple games, and he's been out as well. And I guess he just couldn't tough it out tonight, or didn't want to risk, you know, re-injuring the injury. So that was a big loss, you know, Findlay Prep without him. But make no excuses, you know, Future Prep, you know, they won that game. They came hard, they played hard, and, you know, we'll see where Findlay Prep goes from here. You know, no team in Findlay Prep history has ever experienced a loss at home, so we'll see how they bounce back. And all right, we'll talk to you later, folks. Thanks for tuning in.